Why are you excited to be here tonight?
Because I'm just excited.
Yeah. No other explanation. Now, I do believe, tell me the truth. Is it true that your dad has a ringside seat but didn't get you guys ringside seats?
That is true, but it's because of his YouTube channel, okay? It's his YouTube, okay?
Her dad's an influencer. Let him go, guys. But your dad's awesome, right?
Yeah.
See, he's awesome. Yeah! Give it up for Claire. Thank you so much, Claire. High five. Yeah.
Hey guys, check this out. I am officially now sponsored by WWLTD. WWLTD is a clean energy drink made to give you focus with no crash. If you guys are like me, you're always needing a burst of energy, especially with one with no crash. WWLTD contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. It keeps me awake with no jitters, guys. Check it out. Merch link is in the bio.
Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive Papa Gang Limelight, United Wrestling Network World Heavyweight Champion. And make sure you tune into the Alliance blog every week. You heard it here first. Straight from Papa.
And that's it. That's all you get. That's all you get from the 76th anniversary show, because we're on a spoiler free podcast. What? I can't talk anymore. I'm too excited. I just spent the last few days in the city of brotherly love. I got to hang out with my boys down in Philly. We were getting illy in Philly. We were being silly in Philly, and things were getting really in Philly. This is the pre-party. My name is J Cal. Each and every Tuesday, I come to you, that hashtag NWA fam, and I'm here to tell you that the Alliance was well represented in the city of brotherly love. The Alliance was well represented at the NWA 76, and I want to say thank you and shout out to all my wonderful friends who were there. I want to say thank you to all my pals and my new friends that I made over the weekend who helped make the Alliance Wrestling Summit. Yes, the third Alliance Wrestling Summit. It went off without a hitch, daddy. And you know, part of that is thanks to these guys right here. South Street, Philadelphia, Suplex Vintage Wrestling. They're my new best friends out there in Philly. We've got our pals out in South Jersey with Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, and now we've got friends out in Philly with Suplex Vintage Wrestling. These guys came through for us. Not that it was like, so how do I explain this? Initially, when we were planning to go out to the 76th anniversary show, I didn't hear a lot of feedback that people were coming, so I didn't make a lot of big plans. And honestly, that's on me, guys. I dropped the ball a little bit, but we wanted to celebrate. We wanted to celebrate the NWA, and so I just knew that it was going to be me and Jaden out there. I had a good idea that a friend of the show, Big Khris DAWG, was going to be there. I had an idea that Sam Retro was going to be there. I had an idea that Scooby was going to be there, and yeah, I mean, everybody kind of came through. We had at least eight members of the Alliance guys, and I am including y'all as part of that group of the Alliance guys representing, and that was pretty damn dope. We got to the arena and there was even more friends for the Alliance, so very fun weekend. And if you want to talk about it, well, first let's talk about Suplex Vintage Wrestling. Now, first and foremost, this is a unendorsed plug. This is a freebie for them because they were such great dudes. I got to meet one of the owners, Woody. I got to meet Al. I got to meet Pedro. And these guys were just so damn cool, man. First of all, if you're a fan of the ECW, of course, these guys are big fans of ECW as well. They had a watch party going on at 12:30 for the Bash at Berlin. So they already had people in the house. I walked through the door. They started chanting Kevin Owens. It was kind of hilarious, except for it not really. I thought that was members of the Alliance fam just messing with me, right? I thought that was the NWA fam just messing with me. No, there were people there who were chanting Kevin Owens. And the real silly thing about all that, the real funny thing about all that, is that it was Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens on the screen behind me as I walked in the door, and they were chanting Kevin Owens, and somebody said, wait, how could you be here if you're there? And it was kind of funny. I laughed. I chuckled. I got that all weekend. Wow, a bunch of you guys are here. I'm going to say what's up to everybody. Then we'll get into more about Suplex Vintage Wrestling because I want to talk them up. I want to chat them up. They did have such a cool place, and I think you guys should know about it. So real quick, I'm going to go through the chat, and then I will get back to Suplex Vintage Wrestling. But Jeremy's here for like the next 5 minutes or so. Luthez is in work. Luthez was with us there this weekend. Willie Bowen says, hi, J. Cal. Rolando is doing a play, Dopey in the Seven Dwarfs biopic. Nice, Willie. Nice. Good job. Retro says 76 was a success, brothers and sisters. Man, it was so dope. I don't want to give out spoilers, right? And I will not give out spoilers yet. Obviously, we're going to have to talk about some things. A lot of things were already made public. We posted the spoilers on the website. That's up to you if you want to go check them out. But they're up there if you want to see. Yeah, it was the best NWA show that I've been to this year, and that's not saying a whole lot. But I was at the anniversary show last year. And, there was definitely a changing of the guard last year. We saw Camille lose the title and eventually leave the company. We saw Tyrus lose the title and immediately leave the company. And we saw a lot of changes within the direction of the NWA, not limited to the elimination of pay-per-views, the elimination of the YouTube being the home of power. Through the progress of last August to February, the NWA had changed quite drastically, and now it's available on the CW app, and the pay-per-views are there too. This was a great feel-good moment for the NWA. I think they knocked it out of the park. Outside of a few things I didn't really like, they kept it mostly consistent, mostly good. And if you asked me to rank it 1 out of 10, I'd give it a solid 8, and that is saying something because it's not always been this good, and I was very happy with it. Brian Idle, the needle mover. Hey, Jay, how sucks is NWA 76? It wasn't sucks at all, Dodie. I was very happy with it. Let's see. Steve G's here. Bobby Batito's here. What's up, gentlemen? Willie Bowen, of course, is here. Sean Mega's here. Double D. Devin Dowling's here. Everybody's here, man. You guys are filling out the chat. This is great. Yeah, I did get the Kevin Owens. Our pal Jaden came up with a good one, and Dave Scooby's repeating it. It's Kevin No Wins. That's kind of funny. Let's see. Tell me you're watching a replay. That's good. Noob is here. What's up, Noob? Double D says, I'll give out a spoiler. FEC3, I'm so hyped for the NWA. Yeah, man. I mean, we're going to have to talk about that. I mean, it's not a secret. Rosville's in the house. What's up, Rosville? Chris Drummond says 76 is cool. Now, what's next? Always waiting for the next big thing, right? I thought the show was good except for that match we will never speak about. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. But let's get back to Suplex, right? Because Suplex Wrestling, Suplex Vintage Wrestling, Big Khris DAWG kind of gave us heads up that they were doing. I thought they were going to be doing live wrestling, and I was like, "This is dope. We're going to go check out some extra wrestling before the wrestling." Like, how I'm one of these guys, if I'm in a town, if I'm in a city, I want to watch wrestling. I posted on Facebook about 2 years ago that I don't want to make vacation plans ever again unless it includes pro wrestling or baseball. This weekend, I got both. I was at the NWA 76. I was at I was in Philly for the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Atlanta Braves. Went 11 innings. We didn't stay 11 innings, but the Phillies won. So we roll out to Suplex Vintage Wrestling. It was harder to find than it should have been. I don't know if that was our fault or whose fault, but the place. I mean, the place was awesome, and I met Al. Al gave me the grand tour of the building. I'm sorry, I got hairs on my nose. I got to trim this mustache. Al gave me the tour of the place. It was awesome. He took me up all 3 levels. They have like a podcasting area that they have with legends. The Sandman has come in there and done some podcasting with them. They have done meet and greets and stuff like that. They were very much part of what was going on during the 76 or the WrestleMania weekend. Like I said, they had replica belts. I mean, mostly WWE, but I talked to the one of the owners, Woody, and he said that they're looking at getting some AEW titles as well. They should probably talk to the NWA and maybe get some of the NWA titles. They had a wall. That wall that you see right there, those were single action wrestling figures. I actually picked up a few of them, or a few figures. And this was such a cool thing. They had like loose WWE, WCW, ECW figures. I picked up a Tyrus. I picked up 2 Ravens and a Christian. Some of the guys got to look at some vintage wrestling photos. And I mean, these things were old school. And again, it was such a cool place. Everyone there was so kind. We took, we traded some shirts, some swag. I gave them some shirts. They gave me this cool shirt that I'm wearing right now, which was really cool. Dog was there handing out event posters. And we went outside to take some photos. That's from left to right. That's Big Al with Suplex Wrestling. That's Sam Retro. That's Dave, Scooby, myself, Big Khris DAWG, Jaden, who did stay true to form wearing that lucha mask throughout the entire wrestling event, and Woody. All good dudes. Such a great opportunity to hang out, to meet wrestling fans, to talk wrestling. And again, the Bash of Berlin was on as well, so we had that camaraderie going. Did the Tires figure break your hand? Sean, my man, that was great. Yeah, it was the heaviest figure on the wall. The wall was leaning over. Jesus, Sean, that was great. Dude made me root for Matt Cardona. What the hell? EC3 versus Dean Ambrose was the worst live match I've seen in a major company produce. I don't know if it's a thing with Asuka. I'm just happy he's not our champ. Nice. Yeah, the folks there were so cool. Again, I keep bringing them up because, number one, the hospitality was so awesome. Everyone there was so cool. Again, they had a live event. They weren't expecting to sell a bunch of merch that day. They were hoping to get people in the building. And, we weren't the biggest group there. Well, let me say that differently. We were the biggest group there. But, I mean, they had a big group of people already there watching. And it was kind of cool to sit there. We got to, like I said, watch Cody and Kevin Owens. We got to see Rhea Ripley and I can't remember her name, the Jersey girl. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The Terror Twins versus Dom and his girlfriend, whose name I can't think of at the moment. Anyways, it was a great experience. We sat there for probably 2.5 hours and just hung out, watching wrestling, talking wrestling, again, looking at all the stuff that they had. And it was such a cool place. So I want to say this, that if you guys ever are in South Philadelphia, please step in there, go check them out. Even if you're not going to buy a t-shirt, just go in and say what's up. Tell them that the Alliance guys sent you. This is not a paid endorsement. We have no financial connection. I just really like those dudes a lot, and I want to see them succeed. It sounds like they're probably opening up another location in Florida soon. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, man, it was such a cool deal. I very much had a great time there. And then afterwards, oh yeah, those pictures were pretty dope, huh, Scoop? Like they had photos, like seriously, of I want to say from like the 60s, and it was a lot of Northeastern wrestling. So you saw guys from the WWE mostly, but there was some guys from the NWA Mid-Atlantic area as well. And just so much cool like history right there. And then like the figures that were there and some of the autographs that they had. I mean, it was just a really cool vibe. And we have wrestling stores in Southern California. We do. And they're very cool. They're very cool looking economic places, but this was a moment where it felt like it was a community, right? Like I felt like when I walked in that door that I had a bunch of new friends that I never even met. So it was super, super cool. Again, I highly recommend it. I hope these guys, if you're looking for some vintage t-shirts like that, a franchise Shane Douglas shirt, I know how many of you guys would like to burn that in effigy. They had like a Pitbulls t-shirt. It was so cool. So again, check them out in Philadelphia, 628 South Street in Philadelphia. Great place. Again, not a paid endorsement. Steve said, how was the flights? Do you mean the flights or the fights? Because they were both pretty good. The flight was easy because we went from California. We left Ontario, not Los Angeles. Ontario is a much shorter flight drive for me. So we flew out of Ontario, landed in Chicago, and then from Chicago to Philly. Then on the way home, we flew out of Philly into Colorado. I was closest to Jeremy than I've ever been, and then to Ontario. Chris says, yeah, Suplex is preparing for the grand opening of their second store in Orlando. Retro said, when I walked in the door, I definitely left with a new friend. Yeah, man, they were so cool. Those guys were cool. There was a lot of fun stuff there. Oh, you did mean flights. Oh yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, there was turbulence. Both landings were kind of rough, but I've flown a lot in the last couple of years. In fact, I've flown more in the last 5 years than I have in my entire adult life before. And flying to China, flying to Atlanta, flying to North Carolina, and Tennessee, and those were just to see wrestling. Mexico City, I've had a lot of bad turbulent flights. The one in Mexico was rough. Like it felt like the plane was going down at a few times. So it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool deal. Retro says he met Joe effing Kazana. Kazana he was a good dude, man. I don't think Kazana remembered me from the 2 times he was on the podcast, but yeah, he's a good dude. I like him a lot. And again, the show, the wrestling itself was really, really good. Our pal Khris DAWG alluded to some matches that were less than stellar, and I have to admit, those were pretty bad. Now, going back to our Alliance fam, I just want to show you guys how much I appreciate you. I took a photo with everybody that I could. So let me just show you guys because, that's how kind of goofy I am. But here is your boy Jay and Jaden. Of course, Jaden is the masked man. We got Jay and Luthez. Luthez looks so happy to be with me. We got Big Khris DAWG. I've known Big Khris DAWG forever. Not forever, but at least 20 years. It's the first time we've ever met face to face. Again, got to hang out with Sam Retro again. Retro, you guys know Retro. I don't have to introduce you to him. Got to see Polka Dot Pam, but this was at the ECW Arena. She was there to support Chris Adonis, but she was very happy with the outcome of the main event. Can't forget about Dave Scooby. That's us adjacent to the 2300 Arena. Got to meet Rick Del Santo, the professor himself. That's the first, Rick was supposed to meet us up in New Jersey last year, so this was really cool to finally get to meet him after all these years. And, of course, my pal, Gary Horn, me and him pals forever. It was so cool to see Gary Horn. I know you guys got to remember, he started off doing this too, and now he works for the NWA, and I'm so proud of him, so grateful for our friendship, and I'm so happy that he's getting to do that with the NWA. Got to say hi to my boy Danny Dills. Dills said Dills says that they sold out of those 70s. Whoa, let me try that again. Dills said that they sold out of the 76 shirts really fast, and I don't have one handy, but the 76 shirt look awfully familiar. That's all I'm saying, Dills. I'm not saying you stole my idea, but I'm saying they look very similar. That's Paul. You might know Paul as the editor-in-chief of the NWA web magazine. Sometimes Pollo is also known as I messed up. Paul, sometimes known as Pollo Damar. I was so happy to see Paul there. Paul is a great dude. I really like Paul a lot. Yeah. So, and then of course I posted some photos on Instagram. We post some videos there. We're going to post more, obviously. Some of the shorts that I recorded at the event will be on our YouTube channel soon. We're not going to spoil anything, but I really did have a great time with my guys. We even did a impromptu roundtable talking about the NWA 76 show. I think we're going to post that video on our socials, on our channels, so that you guys can watch it. Maybe we'll even put it up on the audio podcast so that you who choose to listen to these shows can hear it as well, because it was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was Pollo. Let's see more of the comments. I want to get to all of them. Oh yeah, Jeremy says, hey, don't forget that like, share, and after the stream, leave a comment. It all helps the algorithm, and we need all the help we can get. What's up with you big nasty boys? Kayfabe Soup, my boy Heebs. Heebs, I would love to see you at a wrestling show one of these days. Please don't make the NWA go to Wisconsin before I get to say hello to you and buy you a hot dog or something. I don't know if you've seen how I freaking froze when I seen his face. I didn't. Are you talking about Papa Joe? Before the show, we also went to Tony Luke's. Yeah, Tony Luke's, man. That was some fine eating. Jaden asked me when I got home yesterday, what was my favorite thing that I ate there? So Tony Luke's had a by far much better sandwich than Jim's. Jim's was on South Street, and I didn't really care for it. It was just okay. Very greasy and not very tasty, whereas the one from Tony Luke's was so much better. Also went to this cafe called the Lit Cafe that was in Philly, and I was introduced to the blueberry pie French toast. My friends, when I tell you that I gained 5 pounds over the weekend, I am not BSing. Great food down in Philly. Those 76 shirts were fire. I liked them. I went to buy one after the show, but they had sold out of my sizes. So I told Deals if he finds any more to let me know. But yeah, it's kind of bummed out there. Jay told you was on point. Yeah, I mean, our logo was so similar, like that 76, the patriotic look to it. It was dope. I think it's a great shirt, good shirt for this event. I'm glad they didn't go with the cliche, like doing, no disrespect to my friends over at Suplex Wrestling, but, if the NWA did a ECW font, I would have been kind of pissed off, It's like for everything else. And Double D, yeah, that was Pollo. Paulie, I heard 2300 are also famous with a dude named Paulie. Yeah, you're right, Dodie, but different Paul. Is that Paulie so dangerous? No, that Paulie is so sweet and nice. Willie said, did you go to Gino's? I didn't go to Gino's. Oh, I wanted to go to Gino's. It just wasn't enough time in the day. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to go to Gino's, but I heard many, many good things about it. We flew in. We got in kind of, around dinner time on Friday. We met Jaden, and we went down to just the Longhorns down in New Jersey, and had a pretty tasty steak and a cheesecake that was pretty awesome. I know this isn't a food show, but the food was pretty important. The next day, we went to. I didn't really eat anything until we had Tony Luke's, but it was good despite how long it took for us to eat. And then I didn't really have anything else the rest of the day. Oh, I take that back. I had a blueberry muffin in the morning. Then let's see. Then after that, we went to the show. You know, we did the Suplex Wrestling. Went to the show. Went to a Wawa with Jaden at the end of the night, and then the next day I had breakfast at this really hoity-toity. I think it was called Green Eggs, and you know, my wife likes the hoity-toity. I was a little disappointed, but it was okay. Cash only, really? In 2024, we're cash only? Come on, get out of here with that. And it was pretty good. I mean, that was fine. Then for dinner that night, we went to where did we go for dinner? Oh, we went to Jim's, and I was just okay. And then then we went to the Lit Cafe Monday morning and flew home, and that was it. Willie says, I'm surprised that Tyrus action figure had space on the wall. Yeah, there was 7 of them, and you could see where they were on the wall was kind of leaning. Devin Dowling said, did you get to meet new dad Joe Galley? The thing about Joe Galley is I've known Galley for many years, going back to his time with United Wrestling Network, working with Dave Marquez. Galley's a good dude. I have nothing against him, but I don't need to go out and say, hi to him. We're not best friends or anything. And not that I have anything against Galley. I think he does a great job, and I like him. We're not like super close or anything. It's kind of funny. I've only met Kyle Davis from his time with this version of the NWA. I knew of him in years past, and I feel like we talk more than I do with Joe Galley. So probably the 3 people from the NWA who like me the most are Pollo, Paul, Deals, and our boy Gary Horn, not necessarily in that order. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this show. I mean, look, I don't want to get into spoilers, but this was a very good show. Many titles were changing hands. Of course, if you were at the autograph signing or saw the photos, they spoiled the tag team titles did change hands at the Return to the Territories event. Murdoch and why can't I think of his name right now? We call him Murdoch. Mike Knox. Murdoch and Mike Knox. Sorry, I'm not on a lot of sleep either. Murdoch's were the tag team champions. So the match with our boy Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton of the Southern Six was for the tag team titles. I'm not going to say who won the match, but it was an excellent bout of pugilism and sport. They had some pre-shows. Philly East Coast namestay, measuring stick, East Coast wrestling legend Papa Don got to work the opening card. It was really cool to see Papa Don as somebody who followed his time while he was a part of the NWA through Coastal, Dog Pro Wrestling, and some of the other affiliates of that time. Seeing Papa Don in an NWA ring in 2024 kind of made my heart happy. That's a guy who, similarly to Damian Wayne, cared very much about the NWA, and I don't think ever got his just desserts. I would have loved to see Papa Don, back in the day when a national title or North American title just was never in the cards. But it was cool to see him, and he looked great. That's one spoiler, I guess. I don't even know if that match will air on TV. It might be a YouTube exclusive, or maybe just not at all. He took on Soda Pop, and Soda Pop is, Soda Pop's the future for the NWA. I think like he's one of the guys that they will be building upon eventually. The matchup, the Liberty Bell matchup between Blunt Force Trauma and the Immortals was insane. Like, it was, we talk about house fights, but this was like a very brutal Haas fight at one point, and you'll see the videos if you keep on the YouTube channel. I will post it probably today or maybe even tomorrow. Our boy Kratos, he got chopped so hard by not Damage, but the not Damage one, the taller of the two. Damage. Now I'm pissed because I can't think of the name. That makes me mad. I have to look it up now. So hang on just a second while I look it up. But he chopped Kratos so hard that I seriously thought my eardrum burst. It was the loudest chop I'd ever heard in the world of wrestling. Like, no joke. It was bad. And I was like, wait, how the heck did that make such a loud noise? Because that was just such an amazing chop. It was the best. Carnage is the name. Carnage delivered the loudest chop I'd ever heard. That match was really. Oh, thank you, Hebon. Thank you, Hebon. Everybody, one of the best graphic designers, photographers, and everything else you need for pro wrestling. Hebon. He designs a lot of the NWA posters. He probably designs your favorite wrestling promotions poster. That was just incredible. That chop, that ringing, that sound, and the fans just popped for it. And that, like I said, that match was chaotic. It was fun. The other match that I really, really enjoyed too was did both tag matches. Oh, the number one contenders for the junior heavyweight title. Now, of course, you're gonna get a good match out of Jack Cartwheel, Alex Misery. Both these dudes just fed into each other. It was a really, really fun match. And you know, if you've seen Jack Cartwheel outside of the NWA, you know that he does do a lot of the high flying offense. I mean, he does in the NWA too, but like, you know, having seen him down in TJ and his AEW stuff, I mean, this match was more akin to that. And the great thing about it is Misery kept up with him almost the entire match. A lot of fun. If you're into the quote unquote flippy dippy, which I am, I love the match. Also, I gotta give props to Colby Corino. Colby Corino, man, the heck up. Number one, he looks so much bigger right now than he did the last time I saw him in terms of muscularness. I mean, he just looks more fit. Look, he's always been a young man, especially to me. Like, I remember him wrestling at the age of like 13, maybe even younger. And here he is, like, he's a grown-ass man. He has the bleach blonde hair like his papa, and he just looked so terrific in this match against Silas Mason. You know, Silas Mason is really incapable of having a bad match. I don't think I could remember a single bad Silas Mason match. I think the world of Silas Mason. So when I tell you that this match was a great match for both competitors, you know I mean it. I thought that was really good too. So that was another one of my favorite matches. Sam Retro says the Immortals versus BFT was very hard hitting. Big meat slapping big meat. That's right. And then also Wrecking Ball of the Fixers and the Slime Balls were way over. Yeah, we were chanting JCP to the Kazana boys, and AJ had no idea what we were chanting. I'm like, JCP, and he just looks at me like I'm an idiot. Sean Mega says, what about the 4-hour Birchill match? Yeah, moving on. Chris says, I love the Burke Invitational, and 3 of my favorites were involved: Markova, Nieves, and Rossi. Speaking of Markova, she's going to be heading down to Mexico soon for the next, I believe it's the next Crash event. And that card is going to be stacked with a lot of superstars who recently were with the WWE. So that's cool for her. Hopefully, like a lot of people are watching that. And who knows, maybe she becomes the Crash Women's Champion. Maybe I'm getting confused. Maybe it wasn't Crash. But anyways, she's going to be going down to Mexico soon. Devin Dowling says Thrillbilly is the best. He really is. And, you know, he had a hell of a match with Richards, Davey Richards. Hebon, thank you, Hebon. EMW on the 14th. EMW, not the Crash. They run the same area. That's the arena. The Auditorio de Tijuana. I'm trying, Ebon. I really am. But yeah, so for those of you who care about Lucha Libre, which I do, EMW sometimes will partner with Lucha Libre AAA. They use a lot of the same talents with or without the affiliation of AAA, but it's pretty cool when you have those there. Then you've got you have the Crash, which is kind of an entity in and of itself. A lot of times they will use talents from AAA, but you'll see them bring in talents from the U.S., like Matt Riddle has been on their cards. I think this next event, I'm losing my mind here. Elias will be on that card. We also know that they're bringing in the former Impact champion in TNA Wrestling, whose name is slipping me right now. But they always bring in a lot of talents. And Heman, I don't know if you could put any big words in for anybody, but Tom Mustafa Ali, thank you, Heman. But it would be dope as hell to see the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion defend in the Auditorio. I don't know if you have any pool. I've been telling Mecha Wolf the same thing. Hell, I'd love to see Mecha Wolf challenge for the World's Heavyweight Championship in the Auditorio. And if it happens, I'll definitely be there for that one for sure. Yeah, so those four promotions, promociones de lucha libre, actually operate right out of the auditorium. So there's a lot of wrestling going on there. And in that building is very electric. Oh, and I forgot about Lucha Libre, Promociones de Lucha Libre, which is Lucha Libre. And that's more of association with CMLL. So you'll see some of the stars from CMLL there too. Yeah, Ivan. Well, the thing about it, it's not a bad thing or a good thing, but Mecha Wolf is so popular in TJ. Like that dude is like the three biggest ovations I hear when we go to the auditorium in Tijuana is when it's Mecha Wolf, when it's Bestia, which is kind of funny because they're rivals now, or Willie freaking Mack. Willie Mack gets such a huge ovation. It's the best. Oh, and maybe Mr. Iguana. They love him. So yeah, could you just imagine? I mean, they could make it a Lucha Libre. Excuse me, they can make a Promociones de CMLL. They could. I don't care who they work with. Why am I getting so excited? I would love to see Mecha Wolf defend or challenge for the 10 pounds of gold in Tijuana against the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. That's on my bucket list. I don't know how to make it happen. I don't know who to call. I'll put $20 on it. I'll put $20 on it. I'll put $200 on it. There. In the old days, the NWA booking fee was only $350 for the world's champion. So, I mean, we're halfway there. All right. So, anyways, so again, it's going to be a couple weeks, which is, that's the thing I hate about the deal with CW. I know, like, hey, they're hitting more eyeballs on the CW app than they were getting with YouTube. I know that they have less international fans, but one of the biggest problems for me is that taping schedule, because although we're getting Return to the Territories, there's at least 4 weeks of wrestling even before we get to the 76, and maybe more. And when that so when we get to when we get to 76, we'll be in Samhain season, and they'll be building up the shows for that live event for Samhain. But then there's also TV tapings happening in September in New York. Then there's, I think I have the other schedule here too. We know that they're going to be on tour September 28th, and I believe that's in New York's. It says right there, Huntington Station, New York. We also know that they have TV tapings on October the 5th and October the 6th in Tampa. We know that Samhain is October 26th. And until something else is announced, that leads us to Looks That Kill on December 14th, which will probably kick off the second season of Power on the CW app, if that's that's it. Yeah, okay, same graphic. So, anyways, this was great wrestling. I haven't watched the Return of the Territories yet. I'm very much looking forward to it. Obviously, there's some talents there that I can't wait to see in a power ring. So I'm excited for that. I can't wait. And I will be watching either later today or tomorrow. But I'm very jacked up about that event, and I hope you guys are too. Of course, tonight's matches, we're going to see Blunt Force Trauma defending those NWA World Tag Team titles against Knox and Murdoch with Eric Smalls in their corner. Obviously, Aaron Stevens will be in the corner of Blunt Force Trauma. I really like Carnage and Damage. I'm telling you, because I was there and I saw the Instagram post. Look, Murdoch's, I'm surprised weren't champions earlier. These guys are great in the ring. You know, I'm sure Trevor has at least one more run with the 10 pounds of gold in him. Knox, I don't know what more you could do with Knox at this point besides giving him a run with the tag titles. And him and Trevor, I mean, they look good in the ring. They are the two biggest, baddest dudes on the planet. Definitely love the teaming, love their work in the ring. And Blunt Force Trauma, like I said, are just two bad dudes too. These are the kind of matches that are going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see that one. Also, I've heard the stipulation that there will be an 10 pounds of gold title match. EC3 will defend it. I don't know who he defends against. So that one kind of sounds interesting, to say the least. And then, of course, Markova getting her shot at the World Television Championship. We're finally seeing Max defend that television title. It's been a while. You know, it's been a while since Max has defended that title. With that being said, just a few weeks ago on TV, she defended against Ella Envy, but before that, it was almost nothing. And remember, that TV taping was from back in April. So a lot of stuff to catch up on, right? But it's cool that we're seeing the titles being defended. We're seeing champions changing hands. And I think, again, the ultimate element that I think wrestling needs more of is unpredictability. I know some of you will argue with me, and last week, Jaden brought up the Cody and Roman from WrestleMania, but, there was a great story that built up to that moment. I think if we don't have a great moment like that needs to be built up to, then I feel like that is an amazing way to do it. And having that story that builds up to it. But then when you get to the NWA, a lot of these stories haven't been built up for a very long time. So I feel like when things get unpredictable, that's when it's exciting. These TV tapings have some unexpected results. So it's exciting to me. And you guys will get to see that, of course, on the CW app right now. As soon as this is over, you could go watch it. Get yourself a soda pop. Make some popcorn. Soda popcorn. Anyways, and then also, I heard, I haven't seen it. I heard there was a battle royal too, I guess. I don't know. You'll have to wait and see it. Devin says, I still think it should be NWA Smashing Pumpkins for the Halloween show. Double D, I love you, man. I love you like a little brother I never had. But Billy Corgan will never name anything wrestling related to the Smashing Pumpkins. Salwin was probably the closest. And I'm not saying that because I know him so well. I've heard him say it multiple times. I heard somebody interview him and ask, why not just Smashing Pumpkins Championship Wrestling? Why did you have to go by the NWA? And the explanation was pretty perfect. It's like the Smashing Pumpkins are just a piece of who he is. He's got a family too. He's also got the tea shop in Chicago. The Smashing Pumpkins is obviously what he's been most committed to throughout his adult life. And the NWA, I mean, look, he's now owned the NWA since 2017. And that's not a short amount of time. And of course, going through the pandemic and all that kind of rerouted things, but also being a part of All In certainly rerouted things for them as well. So they've had some highs and lows, but they're still here. And as Gary Horn pointed out on Facebook, on Saturday night, we were at the arena where Shane Douglas declared the NWA dead. And now 30 years later, the NWA is still here. And that's very much because of the work Billy Corgan's doing. During the pandemic, it would have been very easy just to shut the doors and call it a day, right? It would have been easy to do that. I'm sure it wasn't cheap to keep paying talent when they weren't working, whether you like the guy or not, you have to tip your hat to what Billy has been doing for the NWA. And of course, like I said, if Saturday night is a glimpse into the future of what the NWA has in store for us, I'm more excited now and the prospects of what I saw on Saturday night than what I felt after being at the new TV studios in Nashville last year, watching those tapings and the pay-per-views the night before. I really feel like this was such a good night. Sam Retro, you're going to be in Dothan. Like, I can't go to Dothan. Maybe if that's the 77th anniversary, maybe I will go. But other than that, I can't bring myself to do it. Noob says, I do believe that Natalya deserves to become NWA Women's Champion. Yes. Will she surpass Camille's 813 days? No, she's popular. Maybe she'll draw some attention to the big wrestling promotions. Look, you don't even need to draw attention to the big promotions. You just need to get eyeballs on the product. And of course, I feel like I feel like Markova is perfectly apt to do that. She has a beautiful look. I know she's very popular with the men out there, but I think she is a damn good wrestler too. And if given an opportunity, I think she can showcase and shine. We know the results of this match already, and I think that Markova is in a prime place to make a very big impact in the NWA very, very soon. Bobby's looking forward to watching Power tonight. Me too, Bobby. I'm very excited. Sean Vega says, Billy beat the odds. Survived COVID, Lagana, Cornette, Tyrus, all this. Jeez. Vega, you want to throw anyone else under the bus? Who else you got? Damn. Calls him like he sees them. Sean Vega says the right people won on Saturday. I did not have a problem with anybody with the titles that they had when they left. There was a few of them that I kind of wish they would have got those titles differently. That makes sense. But yeah, it was a very fun weekend overall. And again, we're heading. I'm not saying this because of, okay, look, we have to talk about it because PWI talked about it. I can't hide the fact from you that Tom Latimer put an end to the streak of over 365 days for one EC3. I can't hide that from you. It's out on the internet. It's out in PWI Insider. And I'll say this, man. EC3, for what he did as world champion, I mean, needs to be celebrated. In a calendar year, he did as much as, almost as much as what Nick Aldis did in like a 18-month period. And look, I know that, Aldis didn't have a great, a long run as champion either, but you got to celebrate the guys who did the unthinkable. I mean, Doty, that might still happen. And I can't say why or how, but that still might happen. But, when you look at, what EC3 did, taking the title to All Japan, a feat that hadn't been done in, since 1989. It's been a long time. So I think you got to give him props for that. And again, that wasn't an NWA booking. That wasn't, that was all EC3. And I think that's got to be celebrated. He took the title to Canada. He took the title to the UK. He took the title to Australia. He took the title to France and Italy. I mean, he did things as world champion that Aldis was not able to do. Aldis took the title to China. Aldis took the title to Canada. He took it to the UK. All these things are great as a world champion. China was a very, very big deal, but he also took the title to Poland. And I don't think that gets spoken about enough for Nick Aldis's run as champion. And then also, being a part of the All In, main event, not main event, was a big deal too. But looking at what EC3 did, he defended that title all over, close to like 60 defenses, I think. It was an absolute respectable run as world's heavyweight champion, but I'm very excited to see what Tom Latimer could do. And I was beginning to feel like Tom Latimer was like going to be the next Eli Drake or the next Chris Adonis, like somebody who you think is going to be the next world champion that never put the belt on him. And let's be honest, Tom Latimer has been ready for quite some time now. I don't know why the hesitation was to not pull that trigger, but he is going to make an excellent world champion. The promos have been there. The wrestling has always been there. The intensity has always been there. I'm excited to see what he will do next. I really am. And Retro said, I didn't like the ending, but I'm very happy for Tom Latimer. He deserved it. And look, not everyone's going to like the way that match ended, but it was a callback to their first encounter at Hard Times. And I didn't love that then. I didn't love it now, but I can appreciate them trying to incorporate the history. Steve G says, Markova should have been who beat Camille. Wow. Devin Dowling kind of echoes my sentiment. Why all the Kenzie hate? Look, Kenzie was Camille's almost number one dance partner in the NWA. In between matches with, Chelsea Green or Taya Valkyrie, you would see Kenzie Page there. If Camille did anything besides, you got to celebrate Camille too, because she had that 813-day reign champion. I mean, she beat a contracted wrestler from outside the organization to become champion. She took that title everywhere. Again, I mean, she didn't go to Japan, but not most people don't. But she took the title and defended it all over the U.S. and routinely had the match of the night when she was in the pay-per-view scene for the NWA. So that's Camille. But talking about Kenzie, for all the good things that Camille did, probably the best thing she did was put Kenzie over. And it didn't happen the first time they fought, or second time, or third time, or fourth time, or even fifth time. They squared off quite a bit. They became routine dancing partners in the NWA. And I thought that was very fitting, right? Like, I do believe that Markova should have gotten a run with that title 100%. I feel like it should have happened already. Sure. I feel like Camille holding the belt for as long as she did adds to the lore of the Burke. And I think that's really, really impressive. But don't forget some of that time. Again, let's just move on to Kenzie. I feel like Kenzie had really earned that opportunity, and as champion has carried herself very well as champion. I mean, she's looked great in that ring. And she's having some good matches with women in the NWA roster. We haven't seen a lot of outsiders come after her, but the way that she's looked in matches against like Camille, and of course, she beat Ruthie J. She beat Tiffany Nieves. She beat Taylor Rising. No, I'm sorry, they didn't face each other. Take that back. She's beat Ella Envy. She's beaten everyone that they've put in front of her. I mean, what more can she do as champion? And so, likewise with Markova. Markova is entirely capable of having some dominant matches too. We'll have to see what happens with her, but like I said, she's in a good position going forward. Sam Retro says, I love me some Kenzie and Kylie. Kylie just continues to prove to me that she's probably the best prospect in the NWA, period. Like overall, she is so good for being so young, and she has a lot of very marketable mannerisms, and I'm not even talking about her looks, just the way that she emotes and puts herself out there. And then her on social media, she's killing it on Twitter, on X. If you're not following her, you should. She's fun. Bobby says, I respect Kenzie Page as a champion. Misa Kate too. Yeah, Misa Kate, like, good for her. She's doing things outside the NWA. She is sorely missed, in my opinion. But and I think I could say this too. We didn't know what the status was going to be of the NWA Women's Television Champion going into the 76. Max did not carry that title to the ring, so the belief is that the title was collected as part of the Lucky 7 series, and she cashed in. Obviously gave plenty of notice on the cash in, and so we know now that the TV title will be, I guess, up for grabs as the weeks go by on television. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. We probably won't see the TV title again for like 2 months, maybe even 3. I'm sure that they'll be working to crown a new champion very soon, whether that be at the live event in New York in September, or the TV tapings in Tampa, which is probably more realistic. So that's interesting news. Sean Mega says he's happy for the national champion, and like I said, I am excited for the reign of that champion, but I'm wish they would have gotten that belt in a lot better fashion. Devin Dowling says, whoa, what, Double D? What are we talking about? Yes, I think it's like in Queens. It's in New York in September. Yeah, here it is. Right there, just for you, Double D. At Huntington Station in New York at the Next Level Sports Center. Championship Entertainment proudly presents NWA on Tour. Buy your tickets now. You may buy the seat, but you'll only need the edge. I hated the end of that too. That was the worst thing on the card to me. That was the worst, most offensive thing that I saw all night. And I didn't get to say hello to Ella Envy, so that was the second most offensive thing that happened to me all night. Bobby Mattino says, I'm interested to see who could be the first opponent for Tom Latimer. That's a great question, Bobby. Who does become the first number one contender for Tom Latimer? I mean, I got to imagine there's going to be a rematch at some point between EC3 and Tom. I don't know that EC3 wants to, I don't know how much. Let me say this the right way. I don't know how long you wait before you try to get that belt back around your waist. I don't see a benefit if you're not going to go after, the title that you lost. Being world's heavyweight champion has its perks, and you're supposed to be making the money, the endorsements, the opportunities. So if you're EC3, that getting right back in line, you could jump the line with a rematch, and most world champions get that in the contract clause. So perhaps it'll be EC3. There is a lot of guys on the roster now who don't have title belts. Maybe it's a Silas Mason. Maybe it's a Colby Carino. Maybe it's Dak Draper. Maybe it's maybe it's Carson Drake. There's a lot of opportunity out there for the fellas in the NWA. Of course, now that with the television championship being women's championship being relinquished by Max, hopefully we'll see more activity in the women's TV division. And then Max is still holding that men's television championship. So maybe we'll see some more attraction matches with Max defending the men's TV title against whoever happens to step up. Devin Downey says, I don't know where the F that is, but I'll look into it. Bobby says Matt Cardona or Richard Holiday. I don't know what Cardona's deal is at this point. I've heard people mention that he is looking to get long-term contract, that he had his fun on his indies, and now he wants to do something a little bit bigger. But I sure would like to. I wouldn't have a problem with him and Tom Latimer. I mean, the last time we really saw those two in the ring, it was at not 312. It was a pay-per-view last year when Matt Cardona relinquished the title. We had not last year, 2 years ago. It's like Trevor Murdoch. It was Tom Latimer, and I think it was Aldous, and I don't remember who the fourth person was. Anyways, so yeah. I guess Cardona was hurt, so no, we didn't see Cardona and Latimer. Sorry, I had to talk that one out. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. Look, anytime you could get the former champion to put over the current champion, that's not a bad deal. I don't think you want to go through Tim Storm or Jack Stane at the moment, considering the Baron von Storm gimmick. You probably want to keep that away from the world title. And, Jax already was beat by EC3, so I don't know if it does him any good to go in and challenge again. We'll have to wait and see. Willie Bowen says, hell no to Brawny Coward Cardona. He doesn't deserve to be NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Willie Bowen, I agree with you. Sam Shaw, exactly. Double D, exactly. No to Coward Cardona as NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Doty says Silas and Cody is and must be the future world champion, but I wish Colby will be bulkier himself into a more heavyweight. Doty, I don't think I have a picture handy of Colby, but that guy looked a lot bigger when I saw him on Saturday night. I think he's going to be on this week's Power episode. I haven't seen it yet, but he definitely looked bigger to me since the last time I saw him. All right, guys. Well, I want to say again, thank you so much for being a part of the Alliance family, the Alliance guys. I don't know what to call you guys. You're a bunch of animals, and I love you. But the pre-party, the Alliance guys podcast, the Alliance blog podcast, all this stuff happens because number one, you guys are here consuming the content. If you weren't watching, I wouldn't be making it. Period. And two, we're trying to grow this channel, this community. We have 5,000 subscribers. I know that's not everyone who subscribed is an NWA fan, and that's okay. I'm not telling you to not stay subscribed, but it would be great to have more wrestling fans here to talk NWA, talk United Wrestling Network, talk MLW, and spend more time hyping these promotions up. So if you're enjoying this content and you want to see more of it, make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, and hopefully we can keep growing this community and being a fun place to talk wrestling, a safe place to talk wrestling. And of course, we're putting up shorts on our on YouTube, or reels on Instagram, TikToks on TikTok. We're even putting video up on X and reels and Facebook and all that stuff. So if you are subscribed to one channel, subscribe to them all. See all the content when it's happening. And if you want to monetarily help support the Alliance blog, it's not cheap flying to Philly and or going to these events. It's not free. So if you guys want to help out in growing this channel financially, hey, we have a great deal with W, where when you spend your money on W, which is a powdered energy drink that focuses on your focus, your clarity, your mind. It's not so much for your weight training. It's more for studying or doing just your daily work schedule or going to school. It's or gaming. That's the one I was supposed to say, gaming. It really kind of helps get your mind focused and, narrow focus, high intensity is kind of how I like to do things. And W helps me do that. So if you are interested in helping support us financially, when you buy W, we actually earn a 10% commission off of those sales. So that would be much appreciated. Also, if you're looking for a replica title for your fantasy baseball or fantasy golf or even a bowling league, you can get a title made or a trophy made from Trophy Smack that puts you in the pole position of being a winner by showing your belt. We're going to have a belt made for the Alliance blog now that we hit 5,000K. And should I put Dubby's logo on it? Dude, if I put Dubby's logo on it, you think they'll feature me on their Instagram? Huh. That's something to think about. Smack that trophy back. Trophy smack. That sounds like that could actually be the song for that. Also, we have merchandise available. The red hat will go live this week. I just haven't had a chance to do it, but we'll put that up there. The red hat with the black logo. You guys voted unanimously to have that hat available. Look for that link live. We'll make sure to put it on our socials so you get the link to that and all that good stuff. Willie says, I hate WWE. Oh, no, James said that. Excuse me. James said that. Willie says, I hate the WWE. Yeah, well, you know, look, wrestling is to me, wrestling is performance art, and it is akin to 31 flavors ice cream because there are different flavors and different tastes for everybody. And I might want to have pecan and praline, or I might want to eat cookie dough, and you might like Rocky Road, or you might want mint and chip. And there's nothing wrong with any of those flavors because they're all different and they're all meant to be different. Now, if you're offended because I like mint and chip, well, sorry. But if you like something really disgusting like, egg salad ice cream, then like we're all going to judge you for that. Anyways, what I'm saying is, wrestling has so many different opportunities and flavors to make you happy. You don't have to watch the WWE if you don't want to. You don't have to watch AEW if you don't want to. You can focus on the NWA. You can focus on your local indies. You can focus on the United Wrestling Network. Any promotion you want to watch, please do so. Support those wrestling promotions by either ordering their merch or watching it on YouTube and sharing that content out. Like we hope you'd share out the content on this channel. And now I'm going to get off my high horse, and I'm going to tell you guys Tuesdays are so much more fun when you guys are a part of it. Thank you for being here. And until next time, I'll see you at the matches. Thanks for checking out the pre-party, a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. You should hit that subscribe button and join our community. I also want to remind you that we recap NWA Power every Thursday at 8 p.m. in the live stream. We try to stay social, so find us at the Alliance blog. And until next time,